Hello everybody, it is Ebontis, and we're doing our quick pop into Destiny for Act 3. Finished up the story today, and we've got an exotic quest, so I'm going to run you guys through a normal version. This is going to be a full playthrough. I will have things timestamped for segments, so if you understand certain things, you can skip to the section you need to understand. If you want to play through as I go through, this is a full, complete walkthrough. That's why it is a longer video, as opposed to just a couple pointers here and there. Build crafting, just pay attention to Void Threat. You will have the bosses doing some Void damage and some ranged stuff coming at you, so we'll talk about that. Strand and Void Surge as well. If you got a good pulse rifle that's Void, take advantage. I just don't have a great one, so I'm not really using that. Eventually you'll get Slayer's Fang, which is the weapon from here. That's Void, so that's probably why you've got that as an option. I'm using a machine gun a lot, doing this as a solo player. I like to be able to clear ads, things from far away. Onslaught's pretty helpful for bosses too with triple tap, so this is a pretty solid choice. And then between Liturgy, if I want to kind of chunk some damage with Chill and Grenades due to the artifact, or if it's just Strand and you find this in a later season or episode or whatever, then, and if it is still just Strand, there's just a Fusion Rifle will probably do well, but, you know, figure out what works for you. And then when it comes to resistances, Sniper Damage Resist, you've got some stuff that hits you from pretty far away, so that's actually going to be a pretty good idea. And then also Void Damage Resist, and then you can probably either go Solar or Arc here, whatever you kind of find beneficial. Everything else, I just usually do stuff to stay alive, get some loaders, get some siphons so I can get some orbs created, and all of that together I think should handle it. So let's go ahead and jump in. This is the standard version, but again, when you go through Act 3 story, you'll do it 3 different times. This is the final version. There will be some urns or braziers that you need to kind of activate or ignite that are in a couple different spots, but I'll still try and point out as much as I can. Concepts are the same, things are in a couple different places as you go through the early ones. This is the final version, this is the experts built off of this same idea. So this is the final third version, and this is the one you'll be left with afterwards when you're doing other stuff. So here we go. Alright, so when you get started, you are going to have some enemies that are staring at you, but not attacking. So don't worry about them, you just basically have to get into the mission. Kind of the idea is that Fikrul wants to actually challenge you, so these are just kind of egging you on along the way. Some of these jumps feel a little long in the mission, but, you know, if you get your decent mobility, you should be fine. A couple of them are like, can I make that? And yeah, I made them all. Oh, it just looks a little weird. All their little red beady eyes are a little trippy, though. So this is post after finishing Act 3, but this is probably like the Act 3 voice dialogue and stuff. Be curious how it finishes now that I've actually beat the mission. You won't get the cinematic and everything, I would imagine, on repeat. But yeah, all this is just kind of running in, kind of showing all the scorn that are staring at you, letting Fikrul control the challenge. And then when you actually get inside, which should be coming up, this is where things actually begin. So you're going to be fighting the Trickster, off and on throughout this entire thing. Trickster will be dropping heavy ammo bricks that are fake. They are quick explosions and they can hurt. So if you are worried about getting caught by those, you might switch this over to Solar, and if snipers aren't as much of a big deal, you might switch this over to Concussive. But for now, let's just jump in and I'll show you. I try and play most of this just at range. Just kind of pick a side over here on kind of an elevated path and work on clearing everything out. Try and get one side fully cleared out pretty quickly, and then look down and see what's kind of out there. That's why I said a machine gun for me kind of worked. Just because I'm clearing a lot of ads out. And then he's going to be down in the middle down there, so if you want to use grenades for shatter damage, it can actually be pretty effective. If you feel comfortable getting close, then you can do like a fusion rifle. It's just a bit riskier to do so. He's all over the place too, by the way. But when you can get those chunks of damage on, it's pretty nice. It's really annoying just when he goes invisible though, because then you're not going to be doing a whole lot of damage to him. He's very shifty, so he's just going to be a bit of a pain sometimes. Should be a good chunk. Need to try and build up some transcendence here. But yeah, this one, if you just want to skip ahead, is literally finishing this, and as soon as you get enough damage on him, you might get some damage done at some point. I did actually shock him, thanks to jolting feedback. But yeah, those heavy ammos, those are like traps. You can actually see them when you kind of hover over them. They'll, for one, take damage. Man, his invisibility is annoying. Where you at? Last chunk here. Alright, that should move him out. Just again, be careful. Every one of these ammo bricks is false. And you can kind of tell, too, if you look at them, sometimes they'll be a little glitchy, like they have a little plate underneath them. That's not going to be a real ammo brick. So that's the opening. That's literally just the Trickster's beginning in the Gatehouse, and you're headed in. Fikrul will be talking off and on. My volume will probably be a little different, so you should be okay. So this is the organist. When you go through the 3 phases, there will be some buttons that are not active on the organ. When you get to the 3rd phase, this will be active. This will be part of the secrets. Secrets will be in a separate video, so if you're looking for that, you guys can click in the link above now, link at the end, link in the description. I'll make a separate secrets video. When that happens, you can look for that one. So for now, you've got 2 options. You can either go to the right, and over there, you're going to find like one of the songs. But if you go to the left, we're actually going to get started in our kind of traversal section over here. All right, so when we get in here, these are the braziers I'm talking about, these urns. You activate them. And typically when you activate whatever number is required, that's how you're going to open the door. And when you go wandering, you're going to have like these notes kind of stuck around in a couple places. And those are going to be probably for the song, the order you play them. That'll be again for secrets later. But right here at this entrance, you don't need to go jumping around down there. Tucked over here, there are these rocks over here in the corner. Just go past these. And then we're going to face our mirror. Whenever you see a mirror that looks like this, you can shoot it and go through it. When you go through it, you're going to be in the mirror dimension like this. And the mirror dimension early on does not have a timer. Later on, it will have a timer. The timer basically resets every time you pop in and out of the mirror dimension, so just be aware of that. You're also going to have a good amount of enemies that are coming at you here, so just know that they're coming. And if you can actually kind of stay back, let them come to you. You'll have these guys, then you'll have some husks. And then you'll have 2 bigger guys. These guys might have cheated from behind, I think. Yeah, so the Tarnished Chieftains, they're going to be around. And there is one more. Okay, normally they don't just appear behind me, but apparently I was sitting far back, so they came a different way. Normally they all come from one direction, so maybe there's 2 entrances here. Weird, though. So from here, we're going to go left. And then down this hallway. Yeah, I don't know why they appeared behind me, but again, be aware that they can. Once you're in here, you're just going to go kind of straight across the room. Doorway is going to be over here. You'll even notice the name says Mirror Gallery, but the text is written backwards, like it's ElGato or however you want to say that. So yeah, they're really playing with the mirror dimension here. Once you get in here, this is where you're going to be looking for your activation points. These can be anywhere. I've seen them kind of back tucked around the corner. And you'll know that you might find one back here or one over here. And you just need to figure out which ones you need to activate, and whichever phase of the mission you're on, you'll see them in a couple different spots. I'll try and point out most of them. So this is one of however many there are. We're going to go through and into the mirror dimension. Now once you're in here, good idea to check and see if there's any in here to ignite. Currently none. I'm sure that's going to be for some stuff later. And then if you come up in here, and again, check behind you, check in a couple corners. You know, if you don't check both directions before you cross the street, you might miss one. But that's both, and now the door is going to open. And this is going to be kind of our traversal to the first combat encounter. Got a little bit over there. Watch your step down there. I don't think that'll actually kill you, but I feel like I'm a little cautious in the world of Destiny. Not much you can do that way, so we're going to head down here. And you'll see new objective and rally flag here. So this is going to be the first combat encounter. Biggest thing is you're going to have some shielded abominations in the back. Can't do anything with them until you actually get the buff to be able to take them out. So what you can literally do, there's going to be a mirror on this right side. We're going to go into it, get the buff you need to be able to actually kill the abominations. And I'll explain how you get that buff once we get inside. But there's not really a point in fighting much in here. That makes things a little easier when you come back out, but some of the guys respawn anyway. So when you come in here, the mirror's going to be here. So you can just go through. And you can go ahead and go in and get your buff. Once you're in here, if you are worried about just like positioning and everything, you can come up high and just give yourself a little better positioning up here if you want. Watch for your snipers. Now what you're going to be looking for are pit bosses. Hit bosses, when you kill them, are going to allow you to see the dread that spawn. These Revenant Essentia, I guess they're called. You also got some Grim in here floating around, so be careful among some other snipers. But they're going to drop these, as you've seen before, motes. And when these guys spawn and then drop motes, you'll notice the motes are going to give me that buff up top, that Revenant Essence. Once you've got Revenant Empowerment, you're good and that buff is permanent, so you can just leave this area. Nice to do it quick. And when you go back in, then you'll have your Revenant Empowerment, and it stays on you. Just know that you're at the front of the room now, and you're going to be dealing with a lot of enemies, so just be aware of what's out here. And the Abomination will be in the back, so anything big that you want to use to kind of take him down early would be smart. Careful. He went down real fast. Looks like I've got some more ads spawning in. So you can take a second, make sure you're relatively safe over here. I've got jolting feedback on this pulse. It works pretty well on some of these chunkier enemies. And now we got to take out the other side. Once both Abominations are down, then you're actually going to get the boss to spawn in the middle. Now, I said the Trickster is going to be playing throughout, but you actually have the Bomb guy first. These are all Barons from Forsaken. But you're going to have the Bomb guy, and he's going to be chunking stuff at you. That's usually where I toss my super, because once he's down, you don't have to take out the Trickster yet. You'll just take out the Bomber, and then Fikrul's going to come in and basically be like, you're not worthy, and he's going to kind of cast him back out, and then you'll move on to the next section. So I'm kind of clearing these ads before I get to the Abomination. Give myself a little freedom to work here. And again, jolting feedback working for me a little bit. Then try and go for a couple of these shots. And again, these grenade explosions, that's why I was like, it's not strand, but it's potent, so I'm using it. Alright, so him in the middle. I tried to stay a little closer to him in the middle, because that allowed me to, for one, you can break his shield pretty quick.
Bring him down before the Corsairs find out he's here.
And you'll get rally flags for the other stuff later on, so you can spend pretty much all the heavy you need right now, do what you need to do, really try and go hard on killing him. That's going to help a little bit. The faster he dies, the faster you can get on to kind of the next thing. That's why the void resistance is big, because half the bosses, I swear, are going to be void damage at you. And this is why speed is of the essence here. If you can kill him quickly. I have onslaught, so the faster I'm killing stuff, the faster it's dying. Don't die yet. There we go. That was a little closer than I wanted, but, you know, making it happen solo. I just had a really bad reload time. So you'll notice Fikrul will come in, and he's going to actually almost respawn him to a point. Notice all of those are fake ammo. So know your ammo is likely fake, more often than not. So he's going to say, Kaniks the Mad Bomber, and he's like, no, we're moving on. That was actually a real brick. So that is the end of kind of the first section in the fighting pit. Fikrul's going to be talking a bit, so we're going to go to the next area. This one's a bit more of a maze, but not too bad. Let's see if I can call out the locations where you're going to find the braziers that you've got to light. This is the organ room, but you're just through the gates, so we're going to kind of move over here.
Fikrul is at the top of that list.
Again, I'm not going for secrets or notes or anything like that for the organ. Separate video. Those will be kind of literally just a smattering of them pretty much everywhere throughout here. To get over here, you'll see these little rocks that you got to shoot again. And work our way through. This is like the 4th time I've done this, so I'm getting more efficient at it. Still not perfect, but we're getting there.
He protects his family.
Some of these jumps, as I said, you can make them, but they are weird looking. Just your momentum, you got to make sure you get some of those sprint runs going. We're going up there, but we're going around, so there you go. We got a couple guys up there, so I'm going to get to this first landing area. Kind of give them a bit of a tag. And then we'll jump up on this box, get to the next level, look to see where they go. There we go. Whew. For whatever reason, that one wasn't agreeing with my jumping. Come over here, peek over the edge, and you should be good. Next time you peek over the edge, it's going to be a much farther drop when we do that. There are screams waiting for you, so there's a tree you can actually land on to make that a little more manageable. It's actually in this room. It's just down there at the end. Occasionally, sometimes they fall and die. A couple up here. They're around. Should be one more way over there. You can see him. You can kill him from here. If you got a scout rifle, it's nice. Pulse rifle, it's a little maxed ranged, but you can make most of that jump. From here, you should be good on enemies. So this is the drop I'm talking about. So there's a tree. You can land on most of this surface area here. And there's screams in there. So if you land kind of farther back, kind of slow your fall, it's not too hard to land on something that's solid. And then if you can get an angle in there, you can take out the screams before they jump in and get you. And then you're much safer. If you're trying to do like a flawless run, they would be something to mess up your run for sure. Alright, as we run around the corner. Go up the ramp, all of these little traversal sections. Alright, so now we're in the Revenant Fortress. Again, you got to activate this brazier here. And we got to traverse the place. Again, there's another note. I'll be curious when all of that's figured out, kind of what the whole story is to that. So, rally banner here. And this is where you're going to have to start searching. So again, these urns can be in a lot of places. I usually find these two. One right up here, kind of facing the mirror. And before you go through the mirror, like you could go through there, find the one in the mirror zone, but you're probably going to have to come back. And I'll kind of explain why. But I'll get these two first. And it's no big deal to come back. But you'll notice, I think it's now when the timer actually starts when you're in the mirror zone. So spending your time in the mirror zone is not that much of a stress, but you just got to be aware of it. So you'll notice now I have 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So it's a little less, like, stable in here. So you just got to be aware. It's not that bad, 2 minutes. And honestly, if you're worried about it, shoot the mirror, go back in, and then when you come back through, your timer's reset. So it shouldn't be too big of a worry, you just got to be aware. Now, this is again where you're going to have your next boss. This is going to be the Mind Flayer.
Haraks,
when he spawns in. So this is where, again, I will go for trying to take out stuff quicker and then focus really quick on his phase. If you can get him through this first phase, you'll be able to get out of this section pretty quickly.
The MindBender is on the run. Follow him.
So again, if you get him through the first chunk of health bar, that first third, he'll get out of here in a big hurry. Nice to have less fake stuff going on in here. So at this point, if you're facing like the direction you came in, you're facing the tree, you're going to have some adds over here on both sides. I knocked his phase out pretty quickly, so they're not too bad. But you're going to have an entrance over to the left for a cave, and you're going to have a fair amount of thrall going through there. Then you've got an entrance over here to the right. Over here to the right, you also should have the brazier that you need to light. So I typically will go over here to the right, and you'll just be dealing with enemies as you go. But again, it's not over here this time, so maybe it's random. So you might just have to look, and that's just one of those things we're going to have to investigate as we go. I know when I finished the week 3 story, one of the braziers was literally like right here, right here. So just be aware they can definitely move. And you just got to do a little bit of searching, but it's never too far. Like if you're trying to go through a door, you shouldn't have to backtrack that far. Now I have 28 seconds left, so I don't have that much time. Here's the brazier. So if I want to activate this one, I knew one would eventually be back here. Now again, this is where I'll show you. If you're worried about time, I'm probably not doing this the most efficient way possible. So yeah, I definitely dawdled. And what I actually would do is once you come in here... That was way too close. What I would actually do is, because that was too close, when you get done fighting him in here, literally turn back around before you start wondering where I was and go through and reset your timer. That's going to help you quite a bit. So I had done that on previous runs. I didn't do it that time. That's why I was running low. So as soon as you beat him, turn back around and reset your timer. And again, check both directions to find the braziers that you need to ignite and open. One of mine was back there for a change. I've had them on the right side. I had 2 before I went in, remember? And then when you come through here, you're going to have a lot of wizards. So focus these down with whatever you can. Getting to the door at the end of this hallway is not too bad. But if you were really hurting about, like, worried about staying alive, you're doing this solo, definitely give yourself the time to navigate this area. Should have a couple enemies up there. Now, I have seen the brazier down here sometimes, and you're just going to have to kind of peek in some of the nooks and crannies. Like, you could easily walk over that one, so it could be there. Maybe it's down below. Maybe it's behind the mirrored wall. So if you're really looking for something, you can't quite find it, just check a couple of the extra spaces that you might not normally feel like you need to explore. Then once you're in here, we're going to head back that direction. See if anything's down below. Look, we got one down here. So we'll likely have 2 in this area. But again, normal world, no timer, not stressed. Take your time, work your way through. And sometimes those guys are actually guarding the braziers. So there's one over here too, actually. So they feel like they can be a bit more on the random side. Now, I'll show you this area back here, because the door already opened, and it's that door that's up over there. But back here, I've seen a brazier sitting right here, and you can see these little things are what can hold the braziers, but I've got 3, so I was good. Now, if you feel like you're like, okay, here's the door that needs open, I'll show you. It's that one up there. If this door is not open, and you have fully exhausted everything in this area, like there's not one here, you know, I found the one down there, I found the one over there, I've done 2, but that door is still not open. Go back through the portal, and then somewhere in the mirror realm, there's going to be something you did not light. Once you find all 3, you'll see a door is open somewhere. Come back in here, and we're going to be going through here. So in here, you're going to have a decent amount of guys. More witches and wizards to deal with. They are quite annoying because they just really start peppering you. And again, you are okay to retreat back here. It actually works pretty well for a retreat. Mostly because the witches are a pain in my butt. Because they're shot. This is the one part where arc resistance, I would say, is a really good idea. Because the witches hurt a lot. You're also going to have the Mind Flayer or the MindBender in the back. So just be aware that they are going to be back there. Kind of roaming. There's also going to be more stuff coming at you. And again, I'm just trying to push him to that next phase as quickly as I can. He's moving on. So now I can deal with whatever else is in the room. And again, that's jolting feedback doing that chain lightning, so it's a nice perk to have on a pulse. But if you got a void pulse or a strand pulse, you'll be doing more damage if your loadout's set up differently. So arc and stasis, not the most efficient. You could definitely set it up better, but if I can do it inefficiently, you can definitely do it if you optimize. So once you're done with that, we're going to chase the MindBender one more time. Good time to reload since I tend to forget about that. Super is up, so you can finish him quickly here, which I do recommend. And then you'll get a rally flag before the final fight. So we got a mirror here to go through. Not much in this room to worry about. When we get in here, turn left, and this will be, I think, where the fight's at. Yeah, you got about 2 minutes. So this is where I would say blow your super, blow your heavy ammo, go hard. And when he spawns in, it's nice to be able to clear some of that out. And then I'm going to go super. And try and finish him up quick so I don't really have to worry about the timer. And he's done. Now, there's some more guys. Be careful. They will be spawning through. Fikrul's going to do his thing. You still are on a timer, by the way. So do not forget that timer is still active. You got any ammo around? Great. If it's fake ammo, be careful. But the door that's open now, if you're facing to Fikrul, it's right around this corner. And then run to the back wall. Jump on through, and you're safe again. If you can ever find a mirror and you need to jump into it, at least you know you're not facing a timer once you're in here. Come back around. Where is it at?
I'll admit, this fortress, the Revenant Plain,
Here we go. Okay.
it's an accomplishment.
It looks like the mirror's over here. Or no, I popped into this room. Turn to the right, and then you find the big break in the wall.
Arrives too late.
So now we're going to take the lift up, and then this should be the final big phase. So there's a climb where you have to chase right here. This is where you chase the Trickster. So watch out for fake ammo all over the place in here. Like literally all the way up the staircase. Then you're going to have ads coming. No real timer in here at this point, so you can be a bit more strategic in how you play this one. So I'll be a little bit more cautious on the stairs. But again, the heavy ammo is going to be fake basically the whole time. But again, watch the opposite stairs, because there's typically like snipers across the way. Kind of like that one. That one. And again, fake ammo on the stairs. You don't want to just like slowly be walking up and find it. And this is the first piece where you're going to find... And this part's a little bit on the annoying side for me, just because he kind of bounces back and forth, but you don't want to get too close, because he does hurt. More than I would think he should, but he definitely hurts. I'm trying to use the shatter damage for good chunks if I can. Watch behind you. Again, the raiders will definitely try and mess you up a little bit. Do enough damage in a couple of these fights, both this one and the final boss, so you get a few more ads coming in. And again, haven't played Destiny a while, probably being a little inefficient here, but that's what you're dealing with at the moment. So again, a couple snipers across the way if I want to pick them off. Bad reload time. Alright, so once you get all those ads coming, should be good to push onward. Special ammo is typically not fake, but the heavy definitely will be. And you can see it's kind of a weird looking brick when you really kind of watch them close. So take your time working your way up. Again, that isn't bad heavy ammo, but this one is. More stuff teleporting in means more enemies are going to be coming down the stairs. There we go. Again, hit their little lantern they're holding. You'll get a nice chunk of damage out of them. Looks like I do have some snipers. And also the boss hanging out up there. A couple more of the Grim up top floaters, so watch out for those. Only a couple, but they are annoying if you forget they're up there. Big bomb. Got some more snipers across the way. And again, I'm going for jolting feedback right now, just because I actually got him electrocuted. Come here. I can stagger him for half a second, that'd be so nice. And again, he gets away with it. So I'm going to go super, because you will get a rally flag before you go to the final section. I love how it gets away from my super. Stand in it for a second, that'd be so nice. See, fake ammo still doing its thing. Yeah, he's just in a tedious fight because he goes stealth so often. Where are we going? Where are we going? Come on. There we go. Alright, I don't know if any of those are real. Yep, I wouldn't trust most heavy ammo bricks. And honestly, it's better not to trust the heavy ammo bricks because you're going to get a rally flag here before the final fight. So this is going to be the throne room. This is the finale, and this is where you're going to fight Fikrul. Now, in the previous runs through, like Act 1 or Act 3, Part 1 and Part 2, as you work through, you're going to be facing other bosses in this room because Fikrul doesn't feel like you're worthy of being faced. The third time you run it, you actually face him, so the mechanics change a little bit. Similar situation in here. You're going to be going along. At some point, Fikrul is going to prepare an attack. At that point, you need to run into the mirror. The mirror is on the left-hand side, I've noticed. Maybe there's one on the right, but I always go left. Actually, no, it's right there in the back of the room. I just always hang out on the left side, but it's that mirror back there. When you go through the mirror, same thing's going to happen. You need to kill the pit bosses, then gather up the motes. So you've got the motes to use, and then you've got the buff. When you get a full buff, that's when Fikrul is going to pop into the room, and he's going to charge an attack. You need to shoot the mirror to stun him. At that point, you can try and do as much damage as possible, and then you'll do a damage phase. So pop your super, heavy, whatever you got, try and do as much damage while staying alive, and then you'll come back into the main room, cycle through it a couple times. So we're going to do our best here. Sorry, I bumped my mouse. And see if we can do this maybe 2 or 3. Hopefully 2, but... Alright, so here we go. So again, typically I'll come over here to the left-hand side. Gonna get a little cover. If my voiceover is weird, this is my second take on this because I died on the first one. But we'll see if we can do this somewhat smoothly. So come over here, you're gonna have a couple guys. The chieftains suck because they got a pretty good chunk of damage and they got the little totems. There's always one Ravager who catches me off guard too. Seems to do it like every time. So you'll have a few Ravagers coming, then you'll have a few more that spawn. But the Raiders, the Stalkers, the Grim floating in the air, it's all the stuff that you don't really see coming that keeps messing me up a little bit. So the mirror's back here, so I tend to get a little closer to it. Kill a few ads, look for the Stalker who's going to pop up there. I don't know if it's a timer or a certain number of ads you kill. But eventually he's going to start the attack. And then you got to go into the mirror room. I don't know if it's when both chieftains go down, but I have a hunch there's something to do with that because it always seems to be around there. Nope, he started the attack. So when the mirror is available to be shot, make sure you're going in, otherwise you're going to die. Once you're in here, time to find a way to play it a little safe. So look for the Grim first. You're not really in a time crunch in here. You got about 2 minutes, but you got to be careful. But the thing I will say is the more pit bosses you kill, the more enemies that are going to spawn. So if you can kill things besides the pit bosses, or like just the right number of pit bosses so you get the right number of ads to spawn, then you'll be in good shape. Because the more of those, then the more of these that are up, and then you have unnecessary enemies roaming around that you don't need to worry about killing. So there's one. So again, I see a Grim up in the air. I'll always kill those if I can see them. Come up here, find one more pit boss. This should get me all the ads I need to kill. It should be these two. Once I pick up all these motes, things should be good. And then Fikrul will come in. So he's going to go for the mirror. I'm going to go for Transcendence. Try and stay alive as much as I can. I don't know if I can one-shot him here, but we're going to see how much we can get done. Cannot believe that grenade went off there. Probably won't one-phase him, but, you know, we did pretty good. So now, you can slow things down because you've got your Revenant Empowerment, so your timer's not an issue, and all you got to do is get back through the portal. So if you want to shoot that thing, then you can run back over. If you want to try and gather ammo here, you're totally now allowed to take your sweet time, gather up your supers, so if you just want to finish them on the next run, you'll be able to. Because in the next room, you will have a bit of a timer. In here, you've got all your sweet time, so if you want to, like, save up ammo or something like that. Pit bosses will spawn the other guys still. You're not going to re-get the buff, per se. That's not going to happen, but you will fight a few more dread if you spawn those. Just know the strand attacks will be coming. But yeah, this is not a bad way to go about, you know, getting some Transcendence up if you want to. Play it a little safer. It's just, it's not a rush. So I'm trying to show you, if you're going solo, you know, you're just really trying to play off the super damage versus other things. This is the room, once you've got your buff, you can take your time and really kind of make this thing work for you. Once the pit bosses go down, you might run out, but I feel like they keep coming back. So now I'm going to go for the other type of damage. See if I can get my Transcendence built. Got a little bit of ammo. Perfect. Alright, really what I was going for was ammo, I'll be totally honest. I just want to make sure I had enough. Reload before I go in. When you jump back in, things will be spawning, so just find a corner to go hide in for a second. That was a nice way to blow that one up. Stalkers down. And again, waiting for the ice guys that are going to be coming. That way you don't get caught off guard. I told you there's always one. Alright, he's preparing an attack. I'm going to head over. Try and grab an orb when I do. I'm going to use my machine gun the whole time so I can try and get Transcendence once I get in there. Shouldn't take much on the boss. It really shouldn't. I should easily have my super once we get there. But again, you've still got your 2 minutes where you need to get your buff back fully. So if you get 2 guys, it's 6. Then if you get 1 more pit boss, you should have enough. So again, once you pick up enough, he's going to come in, shoot the mirror behind him. Gonna go super. You're gonna go transcendent for survival, and he's probably gonna die. And there you go. Should be a wrap. I wouldn't just stand around in case anything spawns in. But that is Kell's fall. So that is the final version. As I said, you'll have a point where what normally would happen is you would come in here, get your buff in the first 2 rounds you do it for the story. You would come back out here, and you would just have 1 boss to fight. So you'd have your Revenant Empowerment. It'd be a shielded Baron of some kind. I had looked like the Machinist, a mini Screeb person, couple different ones. You fight him out here, and then like Fikrul bails. The 3rd time is what looks like this one, where you fight him completely, and then you get the Act 3 finale and all that stuff that happens. Pretty cool story, I'll be honest. Definitely better than the end of the first story, Echoes. So, Revenant, not too shabby on the, at least, story finale, even if it was pretty quick. So, let's get back to Orbit, wrap this up. Alright, but that is a wrap on the exotic mission. As for secrets, that's going to involve likely Expert and some other stuff to look up, so we will get there a bit later. But Kell's Fall, whether you're doing it solo or with a team, very manageable, probably pretty easy as a group, but if it's a solo player, it really doesn't feel too bad. The level's 1955, so pay attention to the void resistance, that helps. Sniper resist because there's a chunk of shots that come from range. And then any survivability for recuperation, picking up an orb, things like that's going to help you out. And then just figure out what build works for you, character class, and all that and otherwise. So if you have any comments, thoughts, a build, any recommendations for others, throw those in the comments below, or even just say hello. If you want to find my other stuff, you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Blue Sky. It's Ebontis on pretty much everything where you find me. And then here on YouTube, if you want to see more from me, whether it's for Destiny, Path of Exile 2, there's so much coming. We've got Hyperlight Breaker, we've got Monster Hunter Wilds I'm going to be covering. Eternal Strands is at the end of this month. You've got so much in February. So if you just enjoyed gaming, coverage, tips, guides, news, and all that stuff from me, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. Hope to see you guys all back soon. Have a good one, and good luck.